If you haven't seen this channel before, I was the brave soldier that took on 1 billion lions versus one of every Pokemon. I've played these games before. And yeah, a few years later, it looks like we're doing the exact same thing again. Letting a ridiculously easy power scaling who would win in a fight conversation somehow take over the entire internet, despite it being the most obvious answer ever. I guess this is just an indicator of the sad reality that there's no original content left on the internet. Other than mine, of course. Mine's fantastic. I'd never repeat the same idea. 100 men versus one gorilla is the most ridiculous debate of all time. Actually, I'd say it's the second most ridiculous debate of all time. The first obviously being the people that fought any amount of lions could defeat God and 1,162 other very powerful beings. And a cactus. I'm just gonna come right out with it. The 100 men win. There is no chance in hell that a gorilla can defeat 100 men, regardless of what the Instagram comments make a gorilla out to be. Seriously, the Instagram comment sections treat a gorilla like they're a character from the Dragon Ball universe. They're making out like a gorilla wakes up in the morning, punches 3 lions and knocks them out, fights a bear, swims to the Arctic, RKOs a polar bear, swims back home, and then flies to space for the Tournament of Power. Based off the way people be glazing the gorilla can probably defeat all the Pokemon by itself. But don't worry, me, the font of all knowledge, is here to give you your reality check. Gorillas, they ain't all that. It's obvious to say that a gorilla is gonna beat a human in a fight. I would lose a fight to anyone on Earth, so I'm not gonna be going one-on-one against one of these guys. But 100 is a lot of people, and a gorilla simply does not have the facilities to deal with that. One of the truth deniers who thinks the gorilla's gonna win, in the comments, please give me one reason why you think the gorilla is gonna win, because there is literally no win condition for this banana-eating boy. The gorilla gets wiped every time. The gorilla is so vulnerable against 100 people. Have you not seen Tarzan? Everyone arguing on the side of the gorilla has clearly not put any thought into it at all. Or they're just thick and stupid. They're making out like the gorilla is just gonna face 100 people dead in the eye, walk up to them, and then Mortal Kombat fatality everyone one in a row. While he's killing Steve, the other 99 people are all just gonna stand around and watch. But a gorilla can only deal with so many people at a time. If the gorilla's attacking this guy, there's gonna be like 25 other people over here getting a shot behind the gorilla. And they're not indestructible. It can take only so many hits to the back of the head. But then if you just do the most basic Google search ever, you get a really obvious answer to this. Gorillas can lift up to 450 kg. And the average human male weighs 84 kg. We times that by 100, that's 8,400 kilograms. So if a gorilla is attacking someone, and then everyone else who can get behind the gorilla just jumps on the gorilla, that's 8,400 kilograms on top of the gorilla. It will be crushed to death before it even suffocates. But some people just act like the gorilla is going to have 100 people on top of it and it's just going to go, "Ah!" and then everyone flies away because gorillas have magical powers according to Reddit. But that's just not it. If I put this in human terms, imagine 2,000 kg of bodies on top of you. That's not very nice. You're not going to survive that, let alone fight through it. I don't think I've ever been this impassioned in a video before, which is really weird because I hate people. If I saw this happening in front of me, I would be Team Gorilla. I'd have my big foam finger and a giant banana supporting this boy. But unfortunately, the gorilla is not winning. Don't just take it from me. For some reason, Forbes have posted an article about this topic. It must have been a very slow news day. And apparently, their expert backs me up. Yeah, there's an expert on this sort of thing. Someone is an expert on real-life animal power scaling. And to be honest, I want to be put in touch with them. I want to hear more. Like, who would win, bear or hippo? That's a bit more of a close match than what we have here. What I find really funny is that in the Pokemon lions argument, it's really stupid to say 1 billion is a lot of lions, because some of those Pokemon are literally God, multiple of them can rewrite reality, space, time, one of them controls hell, so much so to a point that numbers is rendered pointless. But in this instance, 100 is a lot. 100 people could take out a polar bear, which is like the most threatening animal on the planet. The enemy is a sole gorilla, and not God, backed up by multiple deities. It genuinely seems like people have just watched King Kong and gone, yeah, all gorillas are like that. They must poo their pants when they see a lizard. To put this in perspective, if you're in a fight against a wasp, and you have a bug zapper, you can zap the wasp to death, you're obviously gonna win. But if it's you, with a bug zapper, versus 100 wasps, you're going to black out from the pain before you can even take half of them out. If you're an adult, you're much stronger, much more developed, and much more athletic from a 15, 16-year-old. But 20 of them are going to beat you to death. UFC fighters are some of the baddest and most dangerous people on the planet. Obviously, they can just stamp on a rat and kill it, but 100 rats would eat them alive. The gorilla stands no chance. People seem to use the anime logic here, where obviously a gorilla would wipe the floor with one person, thus people must be cannon fodder to the gorilla. Which is weird, because taking out animals much bigger and much more threatening than us in a group is kind of our whole thing. Our ancestors, who about 6 of them took on mammoths, are going to be watching us. 100 of us against one gorilla. And that's a debate. They wouldn't hesitate to take out a woolly mammoth. Yet for us, about 15 times the amount of people, are thinking, we can maybe take a gorilla. They must be chanting and unga-bungering like, ooh, 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 which roughly translates to, are you people for real? And speaking of having an insane numbers advantage over a far more powerful foe than yourself, on the 22nd of June, 2025, I will be fighting everyone who likes and subscribes this video. I'm preparing to fight 1 million, so bring it. And if I somehow haven't convinced you by being objectively right, let me give you some more gorilla facts. Because gorillas are shorter than us, but they have so much more mass on them, their stamina is pretty poor. Gorillas can only go all out for about 2 minutes. And a gorilla is not even going to make a dent in 100 people in 2 minutes. And while a gorilla can just one-shot a human being, there are 100 people against a tired gorilla. They can just kick it. I love all these gorilla memes, but for some reason they're all making out like we have to take turns fighting the gorilla, like it's the Royal Rumble. And yeah, that's an advantage to the gorilla, because one gorilla versus one human being is a lot easier than fighting 100 people at once. But even in that scenario, the people still probably take it. Because if you just take 100 random people, and let's say one of them is like a pretty decent boxer, you just put him at the back, let the other 99 people tire out the gorilla, and then by the time the gorilla's been fighting for about 2 hours, it is hardly able to move. And that guy can just take the W on top of the damage everyone else has already done. And that's assuming we have 100 random people. Because if you get to pick your team to fight the gorilla, dear God, we'd win. Here's mine. 25 Samoans, 25 powerlifters, 25 UFC fighters, 12 kids on their BMX, 12 weebs for cannon fodder, and 1 me, because I'm the GOAT and I can take the gorilla by myself. Actually, take one of the Samoans out. I looked on Reddit and radioactive spider cum seems well up for it. I appreciate his confidence and I think he'll do damage. The gorilla's obviously going to get some hits in. Most of you will die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Another argument I keep seeing online, which I think is stupid, is people are saying a lot of the people are going to be scared to fight the gorilla, so they'll either hesitate or just run away. Yeah, but a gorilla's going to be scared of 100 people. So for the sake of the argument, it's best to imagine everyone just wants to kill the other one. Because yeah, I'm scared of a gorilla, but I would much rather be on the team of 100 people. In conclusion, yeah, it's stupid. 100 people would batter a gorilla. The gorilla needs to count its days. Once again, the internet has been taken over by a stupid question we all know the answer to. It should be something a bit better, a bit more sophisticated, like, what's the biggest animal you think you could take in a fight? Comment down below.